This, my friends, is Cycle Frontier. It's a PvPvE extraction shooter, or so it says on its page. It's also free to play, so if you have a PC and you have a 1060 graphics card like I do, you will quite happily be able to play this game right now. But the question is, should you? Well, I have been gaming for a long time, and for what it's worth, this is my review of Cycle Frontier. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello again, you lovely lot. Welcome back to a brand new video. I am Gamester. Now today I am going to give you all the information that you need on Cycle Frontier and my personal opinions along the way. Now if you haven't watched one of my reviews before, it's fairly simple. I will give you a rundown of the game and what you can expect if you was to try it yourself. Then I will give you some pros, some cons, and a little bit of my personal opinion thrown in for good measure, and then you can make an informed decision on whether you want to try it for yourself. If you do think that you would like to try it, it is free to play, so you've got really nothing to lose, and I will leave the link in the description down below, so go and check it out. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, I am an avid gamer. I absolutely adore gaming. I've been doing it all my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to stop until I physically cannot do it anymore. So with that said, I have played pretty much every genre that you can think of. Now, even though Cycle Frontier isn't a unique game by any stretch of the imagination, it is doing some things that other games just haven't done in my personal experience. But therein lies a few problems. The setup for the game is pretty simple and the gameplay loop is very enjoyable. So this is how it works. Now when you first boot up the game, you will start on the space station that is orbiting Fortuna 3. Fortuna 3 is the planet that you do all your gameplay on. And the space station acts as your kind of hub. It's got all the shops that you could need, access to all the supplies that you could want, and it is also home to where you start, the Lucky Leafman. That's where you get the tutorial, and it teaches you how to play, which is a pretty decent tutorial, if not a little short. Then it will introduce you to the 3 companies that you will be working for. As with most other games, you have missions to complete for each of the 3 companies, and as you do them missions, you will earn rep for them different places. Once you earn enough rep, you can upgrade and level up, and that will give you access to more gear, more weapons, that kind of thing. So it's not doing anything unique in this respect. So you could almost look at this in the same way you look at Sea of Thieves. On Sea of Thieves you have the trading companies that you buy voyages for. You go out, complete the voyages, take all the loot back to them, sell it to them, and they will give you access as you level up to bigger and better voyages and bigger and better things that you can buy from them. This is no different. You've got the 3 companies that you do the missions for. You grab the loot on the planet surface, you bring them back, sell them, and then you get access to bigger and better things. So this is not unique by any standard, but it has been done very, very well. Now of course the space station isn't just home to the companies that provide you with your missions. It also has many shops on there too. One of which is the quick shop that will give you all of your basic supplies that you will need when you go down to the surface. Everything from your backpack to your helmet, your armor, your weapons, attachments, and even your consumables. But if you want the top tiered stuff, then you need to go to the legendary shop. The legendary shop is there to give you all of the best gear. However, you do need to level up before you can get access to them, and you will need to craft each one of them too. So you need to go down to Fortuna 3, scavenge the supplies and successfully exfil to get them back to the space station, then do a little bit of cash along with it, and you will be able to craft anything that you want from the top tier section. Now when I'm talking about top tier gear, that is simply because there is a tier system. Of course you've seen it a million times. Grey means common and green means uncommon, and then you have rare being blue and the top tiers being purple and gold for epic and legendary respectively. And finally, the last place you need to know about on the space station is your residence. This is where you go to rest up and to collect any insurance packages that you may have gained after failing an extraction in any previous runs, and it will give you a supply crate every single day as well, which gives you the basics that you may need on any of your trips down to the surface. You can also upgrade your residence as well to give you more supply crates, better gear from them supply crates, and things like that. There's nothing new here that you haven't seen in many other games that have come before it, so you will know exactly what to expect. You gain the materials you need from the surface, bring them back, and then there is a timer while you upgrade each of them. These are pretty hard to get because extraction is not easy, but I will get into that in just a few minutes. Next we turn to the inventory system, which is, well, it's kind of good but kind of bad at the same time. Now on the left is your main inventory. This is where everything is stored, but you cannot take it all down to the surface. So you need to make sure that you have got your weapons, a helmet, a body shield and a backpack. If you don't have a backpack, when you go down to the surface, you won't be able to pick anything up at all. The safe pockets that you can see bottom right are a very limited space that you can put in your pockets and you will bring back with you no matter what. So it's a good idea to have your syringes and your med kits right there. For some reason I was deciding to put ammo there. But everything in your backpack is what you will take down to the surface. Going to the surface is pretty simple, but you are going to need to make several trips back to the shop if you haven't got all the things that you need. Me personally, I would suggest taking some healables, taking a weapon, maybe even two, ammo for that weapon, and making sure that you've got a helmet, a body shield, and of course a backpack. These are all essential. Now before you end up going down to Fortuna, it will give you this screen. Once you have chosen which place you would like to land on the planet's surface, you will get the insurance screen. Now this is where you insure your gear to make sure you do not lose it if you fail the extraction. If you go with gear salvage, then there is a chance it can be given back to you in the form of a drop within your barracks. If you choose to go with just standard insurance, it will give you half of the monetary value of that gear. Now of course, the more you actually insure, the more it's going to cost. So it's a balancing game, and you have only got limited resources and limited money. So this is a very difficult choice to make. I think it's going to be each to their own. I choose to always try and insure my weapons because it's really bad when you get decent weapons, you drop ones and instantly lose them. Now when you drop onto the planet's surface, the gameplay loop is pretty good. Your objective is to simply scavenge as many of the supplies as you can, depending on your mission, and try and kill as many of the little alien beasties as you can. Once you have got as much as you can carry, you go back to the extraction point and you try and extract on the ship. But that is easier said than done. When you are on the planet's surface, there are obviously going to be other people there. Now this is an example of what can happen. Unfortunately, there is no solo mode or duos or anything like that. Everybody gets put into a random server, which means you can sometimes be attacked by a duo squad, and that is vastly unfair, especially when they've got better weapons and gear than you. So unfortunately, dying to teams happens quite a lot. So that is pretty much it. That is what you can expect if you was to download the game and try it for yourself right now. So, is it good? Well, let me start by giving you what I think this game has done extremely well. First off, the visuals. I think this game looks absolutely amazing. I am having a lot of fun with it, and I am only running a 1060. So if that's the case when it comes to your computing setup, I think you're going to find exactly the same as me. It does a really good job of bringing the atmosphere, whether you're in a dark and dingy cave or whether you're outside in the sunshine. It grows on you really well, and each of the individual places looks unique and very, very detailed. So I think the visuals are a big tick. Next, the battles are actually really intense. When you spot someone or you hear someone, you are instantly on your guard. Because you can lose everything, it makes everything really intense. The same could be said when you're trying to do the extraction. You're waiting for your dropship to come down, and it's very, very, well, intense. And as you can see on screen right now, sometimes it really gets your heart going when you're on the ship waiting to leave and you're getting shot in the back, and you don't know if they're going to try and push you or whether they are going to let you go. So every single time that you actually take off and it says extraction successful, you breathe a massive sigh of relief, and it just makes it a whole lot better to play. The maps too are actually quite big and diverse in the way that they're set out. There's only 2 to choose from, but each one is huge, so there is a lot of running to be done. Unfortunately for Cycle Frontier, the bad outweighs the good in my personal opinion. Now let me clarify. First off, there is no revives, so once you go down, that's it. That's your match over, and you lose everything unless you've got any insurance on any of your gear. You cannot even play with your friends and have them revive you or rescue any of your gear, because they cannot share it with you unless you are on the surface, and then it's only a case of dropping you anything that they have an abundance of and you don't have any of. So when you go up against a duo squad, for example, like I mentioned earlier, it is grossly unfair, and if you have just purchased a lot of decent gear, yeah, the odds are stacked against you and you're going to lose everything, and in essence you're going to lose all that gear. So because you cannot be revived, it doesn't make for great gameplay. It just makes it intense, and intense doesn't make for a good game. It just makes an enjoyable game. Next, there's only one mode. That's it, just the one mode. You load in, you don't select any mode, and you go down to the planet's surface with a multitude of other people. Not only that, but the environment is hostile. I've been killed by the little alien dogs. I've been killed by the big one that spits lava or acid at you. I've even been killed by lightning during a storm. So there is a lot that can kill you and damage you, and because the heals are so hard to come by or take space in your inventory, it makes it very, very difficult just to heal yourself up. So all the odds are stacked against you, especially when you're playing solo. You cannot revive yourself, and if you die, everything is lost unless you have got insurance. This just makes it very frustrating when you die over and over again. Now you start off with 60,000 credits when you begin, but they will dwindle fairly quickly until you get used to the game. And then even when you're used to the game, the tier system doesn't really work. The difference between the common, the uncommon and the rare is massive. So if you get a uncommon weapon and you put it against a common one, guaranteed the time to kill is vastly different. The handling of the gun again is vastly different as well, and it just makes it more frustrating than anything else. If you like the Soulsborne games, then I think you're going to love this one because of how difficult it is and because there is high risk and high reward. But for me and for most of the people out there, I think they're trying to corner a niche side of the market where most other games don't do this, and I think this is the first free-to-play game that I've ever seen do this, and it just doesn't work. I think it's got a lot of potential, and if they could give us some, I don't know, lower loss modes, so there's not as much on the line, I think that this game could take off. But the way that it's set out just makes it very frustrating for the average gamer, and I think that is why it's not going to be successful. But like I said, my friends, that is just my personal opinion. Them are the things that are going to stop me from playing it in the future. But now I want to hear what you think. Have you played this game already? If so, what do you think about the game and how it is set out? Have you been having fun with it, or are you just getting more frustrated like me? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, of course you can give it a thumbs up, and if you don't, give it a thumbs down, because it really is that simple. Now until the next video, I'm going to bid you all a fond farewell, say thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. If you like the content, consider hitting subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.